Victor, open the door, what's going on? Victor tried with all his strength to resist the temptation to leave the room and rip his mother's heart out. Victor! Victor felt a headache and he didn't remember anything. What's wrong with me? Victor doubted himself, but something seemed to be blocking his memory. Victor recalled being at the grocery store. He was shopping for something his mother ordered. Suddenly, Victor felt an unbearable thirst in his throat. Desperate for a drink of water, Victor ripped open the bathroom door. Like the bathroom door, the faucet was destroyed by Victor, who tried to quench his thirst, but the water didn't work. Calm down. The thirst Victor had just felt vanished. That voice was the same voice he heard when he first woke up. Is that me? Victor, what's going on? Why all the noise? Victor, open the door, what's going on? Victor tried with all his strength to resist the temptation to leave the room and rip his mother's heart out. Mom, I'm not wearing clothes right now. Victor didn't want to hurt his mother. I need to organize this mess. 2 hours later, Victor found it difficult to control this new power, which he named the X-Force. Victor's senses of hearing, smell, and sight were much more acute. He could hear everything happening within the confines of the neighborhood around him, but could not identify who was who. Victor realized he had another vision. He could see human silhouettes without regard to buildings. Victor realized that he turned into a vampire. Vampire, they had pale skin, red eyes, better physical conditioning, and an insatiable thirst. The most obvious weaknesses from vampire books was the cross of Jesus, or something related to God. Running water. Garlic. How disgusting. Why do I feel like I've eaten an out-of-date fish? The next weakness was the sun. Victor stopped. He was afraid of disappearing. No, don't be a coward, Victor thought. But nothing happened. Victor sighed in relief and opened the curtains. What am I? Victor, you're going to be reborn. I'm sorry about this. Victor's body began to regenerate at an incredible rate, and when he stopped regenerating, the magical array suddenly disappeared. Success. Victor felt out of control and was leaving for the safety of his family. Victor jumped. Victor had no control over his feelings. He actually tried to control himself, but the bloodlust stopped him. I need blood. I need blood. Victor's consciousness faded as he ran towards where the smell of blood was stronger. Victor did his best to keep his consciousness active. He refused to become an animal overpowered by thirst. Hey, who are you? Get out of here. Victor looked at the woman and realized she was strange. There were no red lights in her heart. The bad guys' faces started to change. They looked like they saw their worst nightmare manifested in front of them. Monster. With supernatural speed, Victor stabbed his hand into the chest of the bad guy with the knife and pulled out his heart. Victor disappeared in front of the thug and appeared behind him. Victor's expression twisted with disgust. Disgusting. Victor felt his consciousness in a state between wakefulness and sleep. As predicted, you exceeded my expectations, Victor. Victor was just about to speak. Shoo, you must quench your thirst first. My blood will tell you everything you need to know, darling. Victor's senses became frantic and he wanted nothing more than to sink his fangs into her neck. Come, you are being very violent. Victor felt a connection forming between him and Violet, and it was a wonderful feeling. Everything Victor felt from drinking Violet's blood suddenly became more intense. The blood tasted 100 times better. It felt familiar to Victor, and this was the place where he was having trouble remembering. Are you sure? Yes, I will make him my darling. Victor, you're going to be reborn. I'm sorry about this. Victor's body began to regenerate at an incredible rate, and when he stopped regenerating, the magical array suddenly disappeared. Success. Victor thought about what had happened before. What's your name? Violet. Violet Snow. Victor also told Violet his name was Victor Walker. Victor felt a little nauseous and confused. His senses told him it was wrong, but he didn't care. Let's change locations. Try to follow me. I'll slow down. Victor began to follow Violet. He should suspect her, but he couldn't. For now, let's follow this beautiful vampire. Let's save the boring explanation for later. Victor felt a wave of pleasure go through his body. Before Victor tried to suck Violet's blood, he stopped. Victor seemed to be stopped by something as he remembered one of the vampire's weaknesses. That is, vampires can't enter someone's house without an invitation. Miss Violet, I see you have brought a guest. Natalia, can you invite him in? With Natalia's consent, Victor found himself able to get in. The smell of Violet's blood was tantalizing, and Victor was doing his best to control his urges. I was thinking you would jump on me and ravage me on this couch for all the servants in this mansion to see. Too bad. Although I find that offer attractive, I'm not an exhibitionist and I want answers. You're honest, huh? Victor told Violet that his honesty came from a woman he had lived with for 21 years. For unknown reasons, Victor felt the temperature around him warm up. Heh, I wonder who this woman is. She is my mother, of course. Oh, she's your mother, of course. I forgot. And you're also a virgin, so, of course, you don't have a girlfriend. Victor looked at Violet incredulously, and then he learned that only virgins could be turned into vampires. Victor told Violet that he wasn't afraid of garlic, sunlight, running water, the cross of Jesus, etc. Violet was a bit surprised. Victor names his ability to see into the hearts of others as the Red World. As I thought, it seems like it was the right decision to turn you into a vampire. You also inherited my characteristics. Woman, explain to me what's going on. There were two kinds of vampires in this world. One was the noble vampire. The other was the plebeian vampires. Noble vampires passed on traits to their children. And Violet Snow's family characteristic was controlling flames. Whereas plebeian vampire cannot procreate, they got characteristics based on their personality. So, I'm a plebeian vampire? Yes, and no. You were born a plebeian vampire, but since you inherited my trait, that makes you a noble vampire. You're special, your blood is special. Let's save the boring explanation for later. Victor felt a wave of pleasure go through his body. Before Victor tried to suck Violet's blood, he stopped. An irritation spread through Victor's mind, and his annoyance seemed to be magnified 500 times. Leave. Annoying, irritating. Leave. Ignore them, they're just protecting me. My family is overprotective, you know? This is proof of our connection. From the moment I turned you into a vampire, you became my husband for all eternity, you became my darling. It looks like I'll see you for years to come, so I hope you take care of me. Honey? I don't understand. Victor had always been a very calm person, but had just lost control of his emotions. It was a very strange feeling. You're doing better than most newborns. Don't worry, this is normal. Vampires felt things more intensely than a normal human. Imagine passers-by walked calmly down the street and accidentally bumped into a vampire? If that vampire was a newborn, he could be extremely upset and want to kill passers-by. All of vampires were amplied. There were a lot of vampires who are crazy because of that. Miss Violet, please dress appropriately. We have a visitor. Violet was angry with her guest, and Victor used his red world to look toward the entrance of the mansion. Vampires, huh? That skill of yours is quite useful. How far can you see? Victor hadn't tested the limits of his abilities, but he looked at all the men's clothes in the closet and thought they fit. Lord Victor, as a noble vampire, you must always dress appropriately. Lord Victor? Why are you calling me that? You are Lady Violet's husband, so, of course, we, as servants, should call you with respect. The creation of a vampire required a ceremony. The vampire responsible for the ritual must choose whether the human they will transform will become the husband or slave of this vampire. When I turned you into a vampire, I chose you to be my husband. Victor felt happiness, love, and obsession from Violet. This is proof of our connection. From the moment I turned you into a vampire, you became my husband for all eternity, you became my darling. It looks like I'll see you for years to come, so I hope you take care of me. Honey? Aren't you annoyed or irritated by my attitude? Why would I be? I think you are incredibly adorable. Violet was still in a dreamlike state, giggling lowly, speaking quickly, and looking delirious. Victor looked around with the red world and was surrounded by at least 24 vampires. Lady Violet, I didn't know you were. Dating? He is my husband. I didn't know you were married. Lucy, I don't think you should know something about my life? Why don't you go back to your mommy who gave you that feminine name? Lucy wanted to bring more vampires to the town, and that required Violet's approval. Vampires are generally afraid of light and fire, except for the Violet's family, the Snow family. Lucy, I don't accept other vampires in my territory that aren't connected to my family. You know that. Are you looking for war? Lucy's explanation was that he wanted to protect himself. The Inquisition. Violet, what is the Inquisition? The Inquisition was an organization made by the Vatican Church. They hunted down the vampires that were causing trouble in the human world. It's a new thing, the Princess of Clan Snow to have a plebeian husband. The Inquisition? As a newborn among vampires, Victor was unaware of the Inquisition. Lord Husband doesn't know what that is? How long have you been a vampire? Don't tell me you're a newborn? Is this your attempt to provoke me? Childish. Vampire newborns had a hard time controlling their emotions, but Victor was an exception. You're an older vampire, right? Why are you being so aggressive? Or do you have a dick in your ass all the time? I think I should call little Timmy for you. Timmy? Let me enlighten you, my little lamb. Timmy is a church boy, he's 2 meters tall, muscular, and he loves to purge vampires with his holy wand. I think he would love to bond with you. Lucy, where do you think you are right now? After Violet finished, Lucy apologized. Violet, what is the Inquisition? The Inquisition was an organization made by the Vatican Church. They hunted down the vampires that were causing trouble in the human world. Did God exist? Violet had no idea, but these weapons could certainly affect them. Lucy wanted to bring almost 50 vampires to the town, but this was Violet's territory. Victor quickly realized that Lucy was trying to protect himself from the Inquisition. Keep your minions out of this circle. Victor circled the mansion and his own home, and was surprised to find that his home and Violet's were actually quite close. Thank you very much, Lord Victor. I am indebted to your generosity. Feeling Lucy's increased power, Victor increased his power as well. It was clear that Victor was stronger. What are you planning? Bait, Lucy is my worm that will attract the big fish. Lucy was a vampire who specialized in providing food for noble vampires. And by food it meant humans. Victor learned about the food from Violet, but he didn't feel any discomfort. Generally, noble vampires didn't need human blood. They got the blood they need from their mates through a witch's ritual. Witches were human, they used magic to alter some things related to nature. The magic circle was also created by the witches. Looks like I have to go back. What's the point of studying now? You're my husband, and everything mine is yours. You just have to live here with me. Calm down, I don't want to be a parasite that depends on my wife. I mean, it would be nice to let you be my sugar mama, but I'm a vampire, not a degenerate. Victor used to be unable to participate in sports because of his health, but now he's a vampire. You are my wife, right? You have to meet my family and friends. Yes. I'll go with you. In fact, I'm going to live with you. Let's go. Violet assured Victor that she would protect his family because it was her family, too. Sigh, what if Lord Victor decides to get his hands on us? Violet would probably kill us if that happened. True, a stalker's love is something difficult to understand. Shoo, don't say that. What if someone hears you?